Welcome all the guests. Welcome Harriet, Jhansi Rani Ganapa. We'll start in a minute. Just give us a minute. Often, there is systems. Which team? Naveen?
You want that? Yeah. Nagarin.
You can come with us. Okay. Maybe you can take this.
Yeah.
Avinash, thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
We can get started when, Sunil is actually on the way.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, no, he's here.
Invitees, we'll start in a minute. Apologies for this 4-minute delay. Sequence.
Mic is off.
Chinmay, we're all from the team Coyolia. Coyolia means it's an acronym, Cohort of Young Leaders in Action. We are a EdTech and a technology consulting company. Okay, Harit, or others, can you please confirm? Is it audible now? We are using a lot of technology in one room, so bit of challenge. Hello, Mr. Sunil. Okay, okay, okay.
Right. It's,
Sir, can I have your name, sir?
India's.
Imtiaz. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. Sunil is okay. Anyway, so we'll start. So this event was supposed to just focus as a conversation. We do not have any PowerPoint slides. I hope it is audible now, Harit and other guests. If it is not audible, if there is a echo, yeah, okay, great. I welcome Harit, my friend from Netherlands, to this discussion. So with me is Anirudh, our Chief Technology Officer, and Naveen. Naveen Andy is the founder, Chief Operating Officer of Data Meadows, which is a business intelligence company, a consulting company based again in Hyderabad. We both have partnered to bring this conversation today. And this, we also have customers with us, or people who are in the technology arena, Mr. Imtiaz, Mr. Nagaraju, uh, and also Mr. Sunil, who's the CTO of SIDS Farms, which is an exciting FMCG brand in Hyderabad.
Nagaraju is also runs a company called Fresh Vlogs.
Fresh Vlogs. Okay. So Nagaraju runs a company called as Fresh Vlogs.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So is it audible if Naveen speaks is audible, right? Okay. Naveen, maybe you could give a
Yeah.
1 minute on Data Meadows and
Sure.
yes.
Hello everyone. I'm Naveen. I'm the founder of Data Meadows. We are a data analytics and consulting company specialized in data visualization. So we help clients achieve insights out of the data using various technologies. So we're platform agnostic in many ways. That's about Data Meadows. And we support retainer-based clients and the project-based clients depending on the needs. And Farm is one of our clients who is also will be coming here shortly. Allow me to introduce Nagaraju actually. So
Sure. Please.
yes, and Nagaraju sir is my alumni at SLB. SLB is a startup leadership program. Um, he's an author. He's an entrepreneur. I mean, he's passionate about teaching financial topics, and he's currently running a company called Fresh Flocks, a company pivoted to actually provide clean meat across India. That's about a short introduction about Nagaraju. Yeah, and I'll wait for Sunil to come so that I'll introduce him in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Great. So we are partners to various OEMs like
Hey, hi.
Sorry, where will we do the system? This is the place I. Where the camera is.
Right.
Welcome to this format. So to the people online, thanks once again. This is I think a bit challenging format, but we deliberately chose this hybrid, where we have people in person and people who cannot join us will join online. I think one of the greatest television revolution I have told through newspapers is the IPL broadcast. Okay, the IPL broadcast is about $650 million in revenue per year. And Reliance Group has made a fascinating big technology adoption, how to build 14 languages, different commentary, mixing it with different languages, different format. There is an IPL channel for kids also. We have not seen it. There is a separate channel. So I think technology always evolves. And today we are trying to focus on two topics. One is cloud. Cloud is, I think, omnipotent, omnipresent solution. Everybody knows about it. But still, there are more new companies trying to adopt cloud. So we will try and pose some questions to Anirudh and Naveen. But we'll introduce Sunil first.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for me. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You can sit there. Yeah. Allow me to introduce Sunil. So, Sunil is the current CTO at Sidstam. You all probably know Sidstam is into providing pure and unadulterated milk. No hormones, uh, no antibiotics and things like that. So, prior to I mean the CTO with at Sids, so we worked together at MediaMint, and he was the chief delivery officer at MediaMint, and then started his company called Fortitude, and a product company specialized in providing these business intelligence solutions, which is Sintel.io, probably called Sintel.io, and that got acquired by Haridius in 2021. He's a serial entrepreneur and been mentor for me. And it's actually special for Data Meadows because they've chosen us to be one of especially for Data Meadows, they're one of our first clients too. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Yeah.
So I act as a moderator. I can post few questions. So Sunil, we want to know more about brand philosophy in Seeds Farm. So another question is India the new land of milk and honey? Everybody are migrating earlier.
Sure. I think milk. First thing we all know get a product right.
Sorry. A lot of echo is there.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So I think we all grew up having milk and all of that, right?
And most of us, I'm sure, we have had our close family members had a cow or buffalo in the backyard. So there is no question of quality or anything. But now, talk about it now. Yes, it is unfortunately one of the adulterated product in the country, right? There is still not enough supply, right? Pure supply of pure milk. So that's why one of our founder, Mr. Kishore, when he moved back to India after spending a couple of decades in the US, was checking for an unadulterated brand of milk for his own kid, whose name happens to be Sid. So that's where the name comes from. So when he couldn't get one, he just went ahead and what I heard of cows and buffaloes and started just making milk. Which started off for his own home. Later, friends and family started subscribing and all of that. So here we are 8 years into the journey. We are one of South India's largest milk delivering company. Today we process about 65,000 liters per day, and we are present in the markets of Hyderabad, Bengaluru, and very recently on July 1st we launched in Pune and Vijayawada also. Right? And across India, thanks to the advent of quick commerce and e-commerce, we are present in about 24 cities outside of Hyderabad and Bengaluru. That's mostly for long shelf items like ghee, butter, and all. But when it comes to milk, which is usually a 3 or 4 day, because again, our claim to claim is that we are India's most tested milk. Right? What does that mean? From the point of procurement, from about 6,000 odd farmers who are in our ecosystem, we test every single drop of milk. Right? What we test for typically is antibiotics, any induced hormones, any preservatives. Right? From then it comes to our factory, and then we also do the last mile delivery. Today we do delivery to about 32,000 customers every single day. Right? And now we own the tech entirely from procurement till it goes to the factory shop, till it gets turned out into milk, curd, butter, ghee, whatever it is, to delivering to these 30,000 odd customers every single day. So now you can imagine how much tech is involved in all of this. And if you realize over the last 2 years, that e-commerce and the advent of quick commerce has brought a transformational shift in the way of the buying happens and how customers are now getting used to impulse buy than a planned purchases, right? So that way for us, data and analytics, coming back to the story of Data Meadows, right? Now we are in a business of DRR, daily recurring revenue, right? I can't even afford to have some trend miss out for a week or more, right? For me, I need to have these numbers on the tips and then try to see what strategy will work to keep my customers in the business.
What is the trend?
So for example, right? So we have both subscription and one-time purchases, right? So subscription typically we are all used to our good old and the milk boy who used to come to us. He used to have a monthly card and all. He used to give us some offers. Probably he would give 2 days of free milk if you subscribe for a monthly pass and all. So some of this now we moved all of that to the digital front, right? Now once you move to the digital front, apart from the milk and all, there are also some additional purchases like it could be curd, it could be ghee and all of that, right? Now for us to understand this trend of these customers, creating cohorts of these customers. Who are these customers who buy cow milk, right? Now, who are these customers who are buying buffalo milk? Now, generate those heat maps across, the geographies we are present in, right? And then try to have some sort of offers or passes or any of those additional features that are in line with their buying pattern, right? So that way you'll be amazed. We have few hundreds of such cohorts. With our existing MAU of about 70,000 customers we have. So to keep that and then to see what best works for this. So one strategy could work for one cohort in Hyderabad, may not work in Bangalore or Pune, right? Depending on the tenure of the customer and the product, the shelf life and all. Now,
so with cohort, meaning is it a area or a
it could be anything, sir. Yeah, exactly. So it could either be that if there's an area where there is a pattern of the purchase as per the historical data, and that's where we got to get all this data chained and mined and kind of give it so that will then we then curate that into some sort of a strategy.
Okay.
All right. So for and then in the last 7-8 months, if you see the advance of Blinkit, Instamart and all, right, things are changing very sharply where the customers who once used to just probably buy a product or two are now hesitant in getting into this long-term subscription model. They are preferring to just lay back and probably check for those offers, get to whatever they need on the impulse, than try to get on a long-term subscription model.
Okay.
So that is the trend we are watching. And for us, the challenge is to get them back on the subscription. Is a challenge, right? So then we have to again come back with what best works for them, what is the offer, how can I package a deal with them, how can I package 2 or 3 products for them and show them a larger basket value rather than just look at it SKU wise.
Okay. So in the initial adoption cycle, how did you test various solutions?
Yeah. So initial
like ROI angle, which you're
absolutely. I think when we first engaged with Data Meadows and even as a company, right? See, today as a CTO, one of the big challenges we have is there are too many technologies in the market, right? And then you have a problem or two, but then if you go and probably do a Google search or anything, you do have some people who come up very close to your problem with a solution, and but most often it doesn't happen. So, right, there's a lot of nurturing that you have to do of the problem. You have to get the historical data. You have to see the trends, and then once you are you zeroed in on the problem and then the solution, next comes to pick up which tool best works for you. At least today we are in a post-COVID. If you see, I think the world has gotten more flatter, if you ask me, in terms of what solutions are available. Probably the software could be in Israel or US or UK or wherever, and it's just SaaS model, right? Thanks to cloud that you started the dialogue with, you could just prescribe and you could just hook your database to them and you can get some analytics and dashboards right off the bat. But then for us, what we wanted to do was, instead of doing that and force a solution to my team or anything, we wanted to take a bottom-up approach where we would go to each of these business verticals, ask them, hey, what data would you really need? We went to the conventional model, Avinash, right? Asking, hey, what data do you need on a daily basis, weekly basis, and what are you doing with this data, right? Now, because most of the times it's not the data itself. Everyone will again go back to their Excel sheets. They want their own sweet pivots, and then they will run all of that. You can't get rid of that, right? So it's more of a democratizing this data as well as giving them that flexibility in terms of tool, rather, instead of them going and doing those pivots and all, are there any drag and drop tools, right? Can we curate this data to a level that can be easily consumed by them? If not, everybody's again going back into their own sweet SQLs and all, right? And then they're all hitting the same database. We had that issue for a longest time. Every first week of every month, we would have everybody doing the same reports and all, right? So for us, a lot of this thing was going back to each of these teams, understanding their needs at a daily, weekly, monthly level, and bringing them all on the same board, and then defining these team-based dashboards and reports, right? And all of that we said, instead of them running, what if we could run them overnight in the non-critical business hours and then just have them consume the data right off the bat, right? So that's what we have been doing. And to your point, we had many tools for us to look at. We looked at Snowflake for a long time. We looked at Google. We looked at Looker and all. And finally, I think we zeroed in on 3 or 4 tools, and with the help of data Meadows and costing is also a big thing, right? Now you're talking about we were talking about I think 60-70 GB of historical data plus 5 GB of data every couple of days and all. So we had to bake in all of that. A lot of times your subscription price may seem very tempting, but then you also have to bake in your data storage costs, your retrieval costs, IO and all of that, right? So with the help of Naveen's team, we were able to bake that out. Then we laid it out against our growth plan for the next 2 to 3 years. Then we were able to then it became very clear that, which is a good partner for us, for the next at least 2 to 3 years, right? And that's when we were able to zero in on the current tool that we have. And in the process, there was also some education required for our team members, right? So that's when we also discussed with them that, it just can't be like a, POT model and all. So we also wanted in the process for some things that our team also should take up. We should have our skin in the game, right? So there was also that part of it that our team was able to benefit from this engagement.
Great. So you brought the question on cloud infra. Maybe I'll ask Nirul. Nirul, do you want to comment on how important the underlying infrastructure or preparation for a data infrastructure?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is all right.
Yeah, no, so very, very important question. And I think first of all, it all starts from data. And so unless you have really good, clean data, very current data, not because stale data is not going to help you. So all those things become extremely important, and they finally boil down to the infrastructure. And what also happens is that, for a small company, it's okay, things are still in maybe Excel sheets and you're still pulling things. But as the company grows, as you have number of branches grow, you have offices going to different cities, centralizing all that data, bringing all the data into one place. Actually, a very important point is around the democratization. Everyone wants Excel. Everyone loves Excel. How do you still sort of give them Excel power of doing whatever they want to do, but at the same time pull the data and do the analytics that the company needs to do, right? So those kind of things have to be thought through, where you still give them access to the data, let them keep it on Excel at their own end, do whatever, because sometimes innovative solutions also come from those desktops when they're pivoting and the new patterns come out, new things come out. So it's also a way of encouraging employees to be innovative around data. And so it becomes a very, very important part. Fixed cost of the storage, fixed cost of compute, all these things have to be thought through. So planning it upfront, making sure that you know the costs that are involved, and making a strategy or a plan to how you are going to grow this into the future. How, as the company grows, what are the different investments that you are going to have to make in terms of it might be simple analytics now, it might become machine learning based analytics later. So again, your compute is going to go and increase. So planning for all that. And today, especially with cloud, it becomes very, very easy. Right, because there's no upfront cost. You invest in whatever you need right now. Tomorrow you need a GPU. Okay, just spin a GPU, and you can basically start doing your advanced machine learning based. So yeah, I think infrastructure is extremely important, and you need to plan for it and take advantage of the cloud.
Okay. So cloud, I mean, many customers, I mean, they're reluctant to adopt, right? Like manufacturing, maybe SMB, startups are very good. I mean, right from the day I think there is a class of companies called as born in the cloud. Like maybe Book My Show, Zomato, they're all born in the cloud. But still there is a hesitation. So what do you suggest is cost optimization? Is it a journey or just a one-time remedy?
Yeah, so that is also a very interesting question, because a lot of times the general notion is that the cloud will reduce cost, but
Cost,
it
yeah.
actually is not.
Yeah.
It is sometimes more expensive than actually having the infrastructure on your premises. But it does a very big thing that it gets rid of is the management.
Okay.
Because if you have infrastructure at your end, people don't think about how much of effort and money goes into maintaining the infrastructure, the temperature. You need a room with an air conditioning. You need people to come and maintain. Rats will chew up the cables. All sorts of stuff will happen, right? So you have to be very, very aware of the amount of effort that it takes to maintain the infrastructure. It's not just about the cost of buying the servers. It's also the cost of maintaining it, which the cloud solves. So you have to sort of add that to the equation to say how much of money are you saving in the cost of maintenance and management, and then decide whether the ROI is justified or not. But again, the good part is you can always start small and then grow as you need. So that is.
Okay, great. So cloud, I mean, need not be a perception that it is expensive or not. I mean, it's a journey of optimizing it, I think, every month or every installation base. Like some people use well-architected reviews, different principles. So I'll go to Naveen now, and Naveen, how's the adoption from manufacturing or other verticals about having a business intelligence tool? And what are the tough questions that you have faced from customers like sit farms before they say yes to a BI solution?
Yeah. So, your first part of the question is, definitely
Aditya,
there is a
can
good
you-
adoption.
This camera angle, is it frozen?
No, just
No,
bring
just
the small one.
This one,
Yeah, the link. Just click on it. I think it'll come to the
spotlight.
No, just click on it. I think it'll come to the middle. Speaker view. I change the view.
It is by default.
Just change it to speaker view.
There's no echo and all no, on the online. Okay.
Full screen.
ठीक है, go ahead. Sorry, Naveen, go ahead.
No, first part of the question is that the adoption rate in India, even in fact global across industries are actually growing. Many non-IT industries have adopted like dairy tech. There is a larger importance in terms of.
No, that's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a larger adoption and drive across industries. So whether it is manufacturing or textiles or whatever the industries, data is everywhere, and the owners or the business owners with the new generation coming up in terms of taking this ownership are already understanding how data works. So there is no question of there is too much of resistance across industries, but yeah, it requires little nudge and effort to make them aware that hey, there is something beyond what you see. Traditionally, what Excels are being driving through, as in how you consume the insights is changing. And the second part of your question with respect to BI tools, yes, so there are a lot of BI tools in the market, so you can actually plug and play and get connected with your data, whichever format, whichever shape it is. So, we come up with an open mindset where we ask right questions to our customers and understand the quantum of data, the quality of data, and the way that they're capturing the data. It requires little effort for us to give them a download of how it works and what it works, so that we're able to suggest them what is the right BI tool. Some people, let's say I was talking to a defense customer, they definitely need a non-cloud BI solution, which is very much understandable for me.
Non-cloud means on-premise.
On-premise,
Okay.
yes, on-premise BI, and it should have its own controls and things like that. So we suggest them a different kind of a BI tool, and for a customers like Sid, so we've evaluated a lot of BI tools alongside with them. So we looked at various Power BI, Looker Studio, and things, and we narrowed down to Looker Studio just because it is probably right fit at this stage for them.
Okay.
That's one of the way that we approach which BI tool to choose as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the tough questions which you face from customer CTOs?
Yeah.
Maybe Sunil was not so tough. Can I say that?
No, I think, yeah. So, yeah, he's been a mentor to us all the while, but still, he's a customer for us, right?
Right.
So, yeah, there are a lot of tough questions that we face. So, we work with them, alongside with them in understanding the data. Um, and nobody usually agrees that data is what do you call, comes with noise. Usually, everybody
Right.
believes that the data is good quality.
Okay.
It's something emotional because they have the data, it's owned by them. When you challenge them, the questions that we ask them, it is in a not writer format. It goes cycles and cycles towards the back end team and then come back to us. So it is more of a kind, rather than a tough question, it is more than a process that it takes for all of us to agree and at a common point. And at the same time, you know, probably because this is growing too faster, and sometimes the teams also have adopted having one in-house resource who takes care of the data, may or may not know complete awareness about BI tools. That keeps us some questions and challenges in saying that the data is right, and we have to debate that the data is not right. So more around the data rather than being BI. And second one is on how insights are captured. So um, businesses traditionally have been looking at the insights in a way that they perceive it should be in that way. Example, they were comparing chart, revenue and quantity in a single axis. Example,
Okay.
which ideally, from a data science background, we feel that you should compare in a dual axis chart. So we combine metrics and charts. So it requires little time for us to educate them and bring them onto the same page. So those are kind of questions. So yeah, it's not like tough questions are asked intentionally, but it is because of the gaps that we see across people in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Sunil, going back to you. So does your board or the board of directors and the chairman and all, do they expect a ROI, and how do you prove a ROI? Because most customers whom we talk to, like from Coyolia, we are a fledgling company.
Right.
So 1 year startup. Me and Anirudh have been trying to convince a real estate firm in Pune and a couple of firms, that adoption of any technology will eventually result in an ROI.
Right.
But how do we tangibly prove 1 year, 2 years down the line?
Absolutely. I think this question has been there for ages, right? And it is because I come from ERP background and all,
Yeah.
the conventional Oracle and SAPs, you talk about RA, they usually say about 8 to 10 years. That was
Okay.
how it was.
Yeah.
And they were taking a lot of other costs. But today, I would actually spin it a different way of saying what is the cost of not doing this.
Right. Right.
So if you talk about my data analytics and all, yes, everybody has their own suite Excel. You
Right,
the
right.
data, they'll figure out, what is the cost that they're getting it done for, right? Now, are they doing it by themselves? Then it's a very big question. The executive is spending his time on Excel sheet rather than some tool churn out those all basic metrics and all, and just be able to spend that quality an hour or two there in going to the numbers and all.
Right.
That's the ideal place we want to be.
Okay.
Rather, being very reactive to those numbers and living in those numbers probably a month or two in the past. So that's how I would say the business today should look at it, right? What if I have this one at my fingertips? What would I do? Right? And so along with that, right, the other point being, as the company is growing at all, right, you may not put a figure to some of these ROI things, right?
Right.
That's the toughest part.
Yeah.
Right. So some of these, the narrative should also be like, okay, now that what is our growth plan, right? When we going to grow, what are the different data metrics you should be looking for? What are the insights you should be getting out for? And then how do you enable all these team members, right? So what is the data ammunition you have to give to your teams, right? By then having this, and then it makes your conversation with them very easy that, today, if we have the likes of, the looker and tool and all, in the past, we should have the respect to vertical leads, come up with the data into the meetings. Now, the whole narrative is already fixed before the meeting, right?
Okay.
Now, if you set, hey, then now spin it the way that let us all look at the same data, right? On the tool in the
Right.
presentation.
One source of truth.
One source of truth, right? Now, that will give a different narrative to the meeting, right? Now, there could be different questions coming up from the leadership, from other teams and all. So there's a good amount of discussion also that's happening there by opening up the data. If not, everybody's working in their cocoons of data and then just building up that narrative, right, and trying to make things in their way, in their perception,
Right.
right? But again, at the end of the day, I think that due diligence has still being done at what tool you choose, right? What are the, human efforts that you have to get into that?
Okay.
And ROI is just not on the tool, the license cost and all. It could also be, the resource cost of the lane, right?
Okay.
So that's the way, at least I try to put it out there.
Sure.
And I think today's leaders, and if you look at it, today there's also another challenge.
Okay.
You can, the new age employees that you look after, that we are looking, the ones who are coming out of college and all.
New millennials.
Millennials, yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
They want to work with the best of realm of technology.
Oh, okay.
If you give them outdated technology, if they figure out that they are doing something wrong in a rather, conventional way, I don't think they are putting their heart there.
Okay.
Right? So sometimes we do get challenged by the teams, by some delivery boys, in fact, saying, hey, this app is too slow. It's taking me 3 seconds to even load a page.
Oh,
This is the challenge we are living in, right? So if you as a business owner want to continue to be on top of your business, I think you have to give the best of technology to your employees and all, and they also feel that sense of pride and this thing that they're able to, give the best technology.
Right.
Very powerful statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Democratization of
I
technology.
would add to what
Sure.
is saying is, Satya Nadella a few years ago made a very sort of a profound statement on stage when he got up and started his keynote. And he basically made a statement saying every company is a software company today. They may not know it, but that is the reality. You might be in any business, but unless you are into software, into data analytics, into this, you will not be able to keep up with the competition, with the market, you'll be losing a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. Today,
So
we are-
you have to start with software. You have to start with analytics.
Today, for any job, it is about forget the days when you are actually interviewing the candidate. I think today the tables have turned.
Yeah.
The candidate is actually asking you what technologies are you going to give me work with? What are your MAs, numbers, and all? Because unless that sense of excitement and ownership is not there, I think you're not going to get the best breed of people.
Correct.
Great. So in the room, I think we have Rajendra and Mr. Imtiaz. If you have any questions, please, for any of the panelists, just go ahead and ask any question.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, please.
I may be missing the context here.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for inviting me
Yeah.
to come and observe.
Yeah.
BI is basically a tool. It's not, how should I say, for businesses, it's not like it is absolutely essential and they will start.
Right.
They will come to a tool later.
Hmm.
Just imagine a car. You can drive a car, you can reverse a car.
Yeah.
But you would want to have a reverse camera if you can. And the reverse camera is an add-on tool.
Correct.
Paying for it.
Right.
Now, if you accept that as an add-on tool and look at the people who are running business, these are eventually, if the business is not run by a Lala, that business is not going to survive.
Right.
So taking a cue from what you said, and you made a very pertinent point that everybody wants to work with best tools.
Yeah.
But unless that enterprise has a Lala taking a decision. Now, if he has a Lala, he will want to know what am I getting out of it eventually.
Yeah.
If I don't have a reverse camera, what will happen?
Driving won't stop.
I will still drive, I will still reverse, I'll still take turns or whatever. So we have to establish it. You have to succeed in.
Yeah.
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah.
With examples that have happened earlier. So how did it benefit? Somebody had to replace a bumper. Somebody knocked off somebody's dog.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
So unless that comes through very clearly, this is an observation I have based on my personal experience when I used to sell solutions some time ago.
Great. Yeah. ROI is an important cornerstone.
Correct, yeah.
I mean, Lala or let's say old generation CEO running the
more
company.
and more of customers that you may be targeting are not enterprises.
Correct. We are
Their
there.
decisions are made.
Right.
In enterprises, an IT manager, please
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
will take a decision to go with the best for IBM, would take a safe decision because the job is secure.
Correct.
Even if the whole project fails,
Fails.
he'll say, I went to the best.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the people who will actually take a little bit of a chance and agree to consider something else, the mid or the lower.
Correct.
And there you have to be very careful that you're giving them their, value for every rupee that is spent on this.
Correct.
That has to be established and there is no escape from that.
Yeah, very true. So
So-
this whole context is for SMB only. Yeah, go
Correct.
ahead.
No, to add to your point, so yes, innovation is also to be chosen as one of the ROI element here. So we talk about a value addition, right? So what kind of a solution mix it is, whether we're trading of a time or whether you're trading with the money or what is the human capital. In an example that we worked with companies, so we were able to automate a few processes. It's not just BI. I'm talking about with the help of BI, we're able to identify bottlenecks in a particular process and help them understand and show them that if you address this particular process, we're going to have 2 FTE reduction in a longer time. This is the way that
In anything, yeah.
we like you rightly mentioned. So it's not about tools; it's about the domain knowledge and the fundamentals of how the system works. Should also be honed by these BA companies like us, so that we provide as much value as we can. Yeah.
And towards that, I think, yeah, I mean, the Lala mentality is a good mentality because that focuses on the money and, obviously.
Those are the
Those are survivors, definitely.
Definitely.
But let me also give you a perspective of, or rather an experience with companies that have prolonged the investment into technology for the longest time because of the Lala mentality of saying that I don't know whether this, but eventually they reached a stage where it is now too late because they haven't even established the basics of data, the basics of this. Their competitors have taken the market away. They are still profitable. It's not like that they are doing, but they missed out the growth.
Yeah, correct.
We
Like
missed out
Sunil
the-
mentioned, right?
That romantic part is more difficult to sell.
Correct,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And so I think that what the Lalas need to learn is this: focus on the money, but keep a small budget out for experimenting with innovation and technology. Even if you have to write it off because it didn't work for a few days, but doing that experiment, taking that risk with a small portion of money at least, but parking it away as a separate budget is extremely important, even with this mentality. That's my
I
personal experience.
Few months ago.
Please,
So a few months ago, we were talking to a client and he was asking for quotation and so. So he was asking like, if you're doing it manually and if you're doing it with a hybrid model and then completely AI, it should be cost.
Okay.
So to provide this, I need to understand how much is spent right now. Because I'm just talking to him, I can't ask him what is your spend. So we have to have the understanding of what he's asking and how much he would be spending right now. So we have to fit in that. Because he should relate, okay, this guy is correct, I'm spending almost that amount. So from there, you can build the ROI.
Correct.
Yes, so this is how, I mean, and we made him to choose the open source with the hybrid model.
Okay.
So he wanted open source and also the two variants here, open source model and the proven models.
Oh,
So how much it could cost.
it's a comparison. Comparison. Okay. Yeah, it's a fair comparison.
Yeah. And how much time would it take for open source and how much time would it take for models? But proven models are too costly. And, unless customer is very keen, you won't go to that.
Correct.
That's how it is.
Any questions, Mr. Nagaraj, from your side? Or? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You were saying something, Rajendra, an add-on thought.
I understood.
Oh, okay.
When it comes back, maybe
Okay.
my age is catching up with me.
Okay, so maybe we could take some questions from the online.
Above 30, sir.
Can you ask people to?
They say after 30, we start losing.
Okay. So to the guests online, we have another 15 minutes. Please do type your questions on the chat or you can unmute yourself. They can unmute themselves. You can unmute yourself and ask a question. I welcome people who are there online. They're all
Yeah, just screen sound.
Does anybody have a question for people who have logged in? Erappa Praveen, Lakshmi Nikita, Janvi, any questions? Panikanta Chaudhary, Mrs. Jansi Rani, please type a question, or if you want to ask, unmute yourself and ask a question here, please.
Let me wait for that.
Yeah.
Point that you were making, sir. That, they don't take a decision towards technology in this much. There are numerous examples. Of yes, totally agree with that. Many people do that. But if you're setting a solution, or if you're proposing yourself as a technologist to work at an organization like that, we can't be missing the point that they are in it for money, whatever their business is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to establish, and this is very common, many technology guys get deep into the seduction power of the technology and keep talking about, you can do this, you can do that.
Mm.
Yes, there are some customers who will take, because there are Mercedes Benz that are selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are customers who will certainly spend money because they feel this tool is useful, or it's got its value in terms of what you were saying is that they want to use absolutely the best and the latest. But that story has to be very strong.
Sure.
I'm
So-
just making a point while you wait for questions.
Yeah.
Not stopping them.
No. So very, and in fact, I would say it is the responsibility of the technologists to make sure that they are not selling. So I come from when I used to work for Microsoft, I used to work for an organization on solution selling. And one thing that we were taught, there's actually a very interesting book by an author called Mahan Khalsa. He's actually a Canadian, and he has written a book called Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play. He was a door-to-door salesman who actually made a career in sales, a very, very flourishing career in sales. And he actually
Say, but I was a door-to-door sales.
yeah, exactly. I mean, so he has written a book where basically the core principle of that book is that if you cannot solve a problem for the customer, you should not sell them anything else. So you sell
I
only
agree with
when
that.
it is this. So to answer your this, I think what should happen is what typically technologists do is, as you rightly said, go in and just say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Rather than that, if you just sort of start building the foundations, like at least start storing the data, right? Let's first start storing the data. It's like, then we'll build on the value, we'll slowly prove the value. But if you go and first sell the big vision of some, this is not going to sell.
So true.
Maybe Kurban, Kanela, if you have any questions, please.
That's really good discussion.
Uh,
Initially, like data preparation, data discovery, analyzing of the data in the on-premise environment is needed. Forecast and okay, this is what I have, this is what the customer have, and we can analyze using some tools. We can analyze, so we can include AI as AI is the era nowadays. So we can use those tools. Cloud have a lot of native tools nowadays. And we can compare those native tools with other ISV, other vectors tools, and sometimes even cloud cannot provide the complete solution as per the customer requirements. So in that scenario, assessment is very, very important before we onboard some data inside the cloud. So those assessment discovery of the data preparation is essential.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, good point. Good points.
No questions are coming from online, so it's okay.
And
Sunil, any interest?
Clouds coming up with a lot of sort of infrastructure as it is now. They are building day by day as a platform, as a services. I attended 2 days of the events in Oracle, All India Oracle user groups. In that, they are talking about the platform as a services, which is great. Yes, it is a combination of infrastructure as a base and running some user-friendly, cost-effective, those platform as a service we can use. Yes, infrastructure is always required, and we can use those platforms as a service.
Yeah, they help you get started
Yeah,
quickly.
correct.
Yeah.
The advantage is that you don't lose time and you can get started very quickly.
Yeah. So initially, we can go as a infrastructure as a service because we can save the cost on the development side initially. Directly, if you go for the platform as a service, the cost.
I would actually differ that the platform as a service is usually cheaper than infrastructure because infrastructure is literally the machine. So it costs so much in on premise. It costs the same amount as in this. The only thing is it's not sitting in your server in your premises now. But in a platform as a service, what happens is you're sharing the infrastructure. The entire platform has been built for sharing with other customers. So there's a lot of cost optimization that happens under the layers there. And so it is usually cheaper to host on a platform as a service rather than infrastructure.
It's cheaper in the production environment.
Yes.
But it's not cost effective in the development.
Development.
Yeah, development,
is
we can choose as the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Do a lot of R&D on this.
Yeah.
And once it is stable,
Correct.
we can migrate to
Yeah.
platform as a service.
Yeah.
It is something like migrate and then modernize.
Yeah.
So
And that's where the cloud vendors are giving you offers also.
Yeah.
If you they want you on the platform.
Yeah.
For them, it is the best thing is the platform because that is where they are optimizing. Their margins are much better there, so they want you on that. So usually they will give you credits to do your development.
Yeah.
And all that. Only when you come to production, then you'll pay for it and all that. So.
While we wait for questions, I had one. If you take a route, like they have decided to have their own infrastructure completely, or you take a cloud-based or infrastructure or platform or whatever solution you take. Later, if you decide to move, from where to where is easier? Is it easier to move from cloud to your own infrastructure or
So
vice versa?
yeah, it all depends on the platform that you choose. If you choose open source technologies, like for example, if you choose MySQL as a database or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can move from on-prem to cloud, cloud to on-prem. It's still the same. It's just a migration. It is only you have to be very careful, especially with platform as a service, that you don't get locked into some very specific technology. So Microsoft has certain storage technologies and all which have been built by them for the cloud. So if you go into that, and then you'll not be able to come out because it's now locked into their technology. So it depends on the choice of technology that you pick.
But don't you get stuck with these clouds with some of those technologies?
So most of them, and in fact, most of them realize that. So what is happening is that a lot of companies are like Microsoft took a very sort of a very clear stand on that and a few years ago. Is they realize that people are afraid of lock-in. So people are not coming to their platform because they think they'll get locked in. So they started opening up. They said we are supporting all open source databases. You name it and it is there on their platform.
Agree.
Right? So it's MySQL, whether it's Postgres, whatever it is, it's all there on their platform. And they also claim that they, unlike, so for example, AWS does modifications to open source. So they take open source, they modify it to their. So Microsoft doesn't even do that. They say they use only what is available in open source, just version to version
As it is.
as it is. So those kind of things are there.
Not like hybrid study generally.
Yeah.
And not depend on one to
Yeah.
some portion from this, some portion from there.
Yeah.
And we can combine.
Combine them. Yeah.
Any other questions or thoughts from Mr. Imtiaz? You run a IT services company? Sir?
Yes, I run a IT services company and we have a pharma manufacturing product, which is called laboratory information.
Oh, yeah.
We have built that and we are implementing right now.
Okay.
We are trying to move up to US, collaborating with some people and also the Middle East. So these are the two regions and right now, because I have now one implementation, of course, I have two more implementations.
Okay.
They just started. So now that we are confident that we are moving out as well. So basically, in India, I mean, as far as if I talk about Indian customers, and still they are not on cloud. That's one of the problems that they
Oh, okay. They're not using cloud.
they're not. using cloud.
Dr. Reddy's, I think, is maybe very big firms.
Very big companies.
Okay, okay. Yeah, more than 5,000 crores.
Yeah. So we are talking about, familiar.
Right.
So these companies, they're not familiar. They don't trust us. Cloud, they don't trust. They
Okay.
want everything on-prem, they purchase. That's, whatever we talk about the infra, they purchase it. That's how it is happening right now. And, apart from that, yeah, we are on e-commerce. We have e-commerce. It's trying to, give it more deals. So yes, apart from that, we have many projects which are project-based.
Okay.
Deliveries.
So all these are like SaaS products, is it? LIS and all, or it can be both on-premise?
It is, initially we built a SaaS product, but
Okay.
then we have converted to. Because Indian customers are not integrated. But
Okay, okay.
maybe we will.
Perpetual license is good for that.
Correct.
Okay.
So we are now using it, maybe we will use that in US region. We study. That's what is the plan.
Sunil, any other interesting use cases outside maybe your company or industry?
Sure, there are, plus one mentioned AI and all, right?
Ah.
So we are also identifying some use cases for AI.
Okay.
And again, we are looking for some partners also, get on the AI pipeline. So I have to sort of.
Yeah, please.
So one of the problem in data industry is this is for fasciitis. It's where directly, it's the bacteria for the udder of the cow or buffalo.
Right.
That impacts milk, right? And it's pretty prevalent across the world. It's very prevalent in India also. So we are currently working with a couple of cohorts of farmers in trying to identify the reasons, right? And the symptoms and all
Right.
of the disease, and trying to see how we can be ahead of it. We are also working with some vets also.
Okay, okay.
Because there are some, typically, if you maintain a huge dairy, you can have a lot of infrastructure. You can have your IR, mobile phones and all of that. But some of our marginal farmers, they're very far away from this technology. They don't have a small mobile phone and all, right? So we're trying to work with them. So that's one case study that we identified, where we want to understand the symptoms of this disease.
But is it a visual?
It is also visual. So there are some studies that have come up. If you have that with IR and all, early detection, you can do it.
Visual meaning the
No,
symptoms.
but is it like, yeah, I mean, do you take pictures of the,
Yes, yeah.
or is it something internal that the cow goes through or something like that?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
then there's also some difference in the temperature before milking, post milking.
Okay.
And
The thermal cameras can solve it, but
it can identify.
It can identify.
With the early detection. And right. And then there are a lot of other parameters around the health of the cow, the breed of the cow, the temperature, and all of this, right?
All this has to, yeah.
We just want to create at least a sort of a awareness among our farmer community, at least to say, where they are with respect to some of these parameters and how can they actually, kind of stop it at the symptom level.
Okay.
Because once it really gets the disease and all, there is no other way than giving antibiotics.
Oh, okay.
The package human body takes 5 mg or 10 mg. You're talking about
A cow.
800 kg. You can only imagine how much dosage they give.
Oh, okay.
All of that gets reflected in the milk.
Right.
And companies like us come test the milk and reject the milk right away.
Right.
Which is again hitting their pockets. So that's what we thought we're going to be help some of these farmers. So we can't do it directly with the farmers because they don't have that know-how. They don't even have some thermometers, some of them. Right. So we are working with some vets also in some areas. Trying to see how the vets, farmers can try to at least identify some of these early symptoms.
Okay.
That's one. And then the other one I said, we delivered to about 32,000 individual customers today because this
Right.
days, right? So for me, every day is a new day. So today you could put an order for something, tomorrow you could change it.
Correct.
Option till
Yeah.
10 a.m., 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Every night to change the next day order. Now for me, again, I have this 800 odd delivery boys who are waiting every day morning 3 a.m. to see which customer they have to deliver and what product, right? So for me, from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is like critical time.
Oh,
Where
okay.
all these route optimizations kick in and all of that. And you have to give the best route. You can't expect they verify to do 30 deliveries in one area, then go a kilometer away to the that first customer, right? So they all have to be within the radius.
Route maximization.
Absolutely, yeah, all of that. And we also have other constraints like the weight. Right now, you can't expect just because there are 40 customers, what if one customer has 20 liters?
Right,
Now,
right.
this guy can't do it. So there are these other parameters also that you have to make it and then find out the best optimized route. So that also we are trying to use some technology to kind of, just better because some of the solutions here, they use area distance.
Okay.
Right? Now that's only good for a particular distance. Now, if you're here, you have this Hussain Sagar here.
Mm.
The area distance can say 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
But if you look at
Actually drive around.
drive around, so there are the constraints also.
Okay.
But with the advent of e-commerce, quick commerce, the tech is definitely getting better.
Okay.
You see where India was with respect to GIS and all of this 2 years back, we have come a long way. Now it's just about how can we adopt. And this directly impact the top line for us.
Okay.
The bottom line, sorry,
Mm.
right? Because instead of having those 800 delivery points, if a small good solution can take away 10 or 15, then directly it's not bottom line.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So do you collaborate with these vet science universities or some R&D institutions or not required? I mean, it is just about identifying the symptoms only.
Yeah, for the first use case, right, definitely. See, we do ask them the data. We are part of some of the programs that they do and all. But ultimately, again, because they're also behind on tech and all, I think it would be better if we actually prove that in the POC, right, to state, and then we go to them.
Right.
Because unlike in the states or UK, some of these studies are done by the universities and they actually nurture the solution, they actually do the POC on the ground, then they come and put it out in the industry. But in India, I think things are not so well done with at least with the industry and the institution collaboration, right? I think we are still behind on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get better. Today it is about, we are doing it because it's the need for me, right?
Correct.
So that's why I'm pushing for it. Maybe there's a case or two that somebody else can benefit better.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk 1 minute on what we are doing, I mean, from Coyolia. So we have started a startup incubation hub in a college, Vishwa Vishwani Institute of Management. It's in Hyderabad in near Tumkunta, Shamirpet Road. So some of the students have also logged in today, and what we are trying to do there is, so this college has about 1400 students across BBA, MBA, BTech also, like they call it as Bachelor of Science 4-year course. Predominantly, we are taking some interns and putting them through, let's say, work exposure and environment, exposure to working environment with a startup like us. Give them sales, marketing, app development, training, HR related tasks, various tasks. I mean, why we are doing this is we feel that there is a lot of talent and skills among students, but they're not groomed well in the 2-year or a 4-year course where they're connected to the right jobs. And so we have started this where we invite other startups also to be a part of this incubation hub, where collaborate with the students. And if you have a business problem, we can also do contract research, market research, I would say. So we have taken directly 8 interns from Coyolia, and we invite other startups also to basically come and tap into the student pool. And also there is a free space, Wi-Fi, everything will be provided to startups. Essentially, we are bringing work exposure to the doorstep of the students. So this internship is for about 6 to 12 months, where the students are working with us because we are in the campus located there. 2 hours a day, they work with us on a given task, like today's entire event, invitations or design, live streaming, a lot of things were designed by the students. And these are exactly the skills which you and I will probably ask if we are hiring freshers. So this is one attempt we have made to start this. So it's more a academia industry collaboration. So we invite companies to come and maybe take use of it, hire some interns from this pool of talent. Of course, yours is in dairy industry, different problems you're solving. But if there is anything that we can do in sales, marketing, brand building, or training, we can definitely lend some expertise there. To Sid's Farm and to Mr. Imtiaz's company, or wherever Rajendra has his long tentacles into various companies. Rajendra is incidentally my colleague and boss from Reliance Infocom days, more than 2 decades back when we launched RIM.
First,
Yeah, first. Yeah, Naveen, would you want to cite some other use cases or what you are doing? I mean, any new product, any new solution Data Meadows is thinking of?
Yeah, we're helping one of our different clients. It's probably interesting in many ways. So we're working with the climate tech AI startup. Uh, we're predominantly helping insurance companies mitigate their losses or help them in their underwriting, especially for any small climatic changes. So the pharma is one of the example for a niche medicines. It requires cold chain from manufacturing to direct consumption. So any small degree Celsius change is actually a big thing. For such medicines that are there, and we're helping track the data second by second and build a repository. And this is actually seeded to an insurance companies, which actually is insured by the particular manufacturer. This is one interesting case. We're also helping one advertising company in actually quantifying. Let's say we all see ads every day on mobiles and TV screens. So and it burns some good amount of carbon credits, and especially with this ESG practices that has evolved and got it's more significant. So we're trying to estimate, let's say, if uh, and give the carbon credits back to the particular and see how much can you save in case if you use any other optimization techniques. So that's all a couple of use cases that we're solving. Uh, yeah, lot to hear from challenges, and we invite our customers to talk about their challenges and see how best we can help them. Okay.
If there are no more questions online, offline, so maybe we can close the session. Anybody has any thought, any
Would
question?
you, Nagaraj, do you like to say something? No, okay.
Not business, but
Yeah.
she is about.
Sure.
I started my career in sales and marketing.
Okay.
With Coca-Cola, with Palmolive, and yes.
Okay.
Later I started, start my own business, so I think it's all. Started organic start.
Okay. Okay.
During COVID time, was to shut down.
Okay.
So meanwhile, I with one of the incubation center called E-Labs.
Okay.
That the E-Labs, I trained around 200 plus students starting a business.
Oh, okay.
I
Interesting.
think BBA, BCom,
Okay.
graduates.
Okay.
So we used to teach them fundamentals of startups, how to give out ideas, how to validate the idea in business. This kind of stuff. So I used to teach. Then again, I started from there. I started my course.
Okay.
Then I think we can do some work with your Coyolia.
Yeah, sure. So what is the current startup? What does it focus on?
What are sheep and goat breeding and meat.
Oh, okay. Animal husbandry, is it? Meat is one of the growing export segment.
We have meat producing companies.
Okay. Okay.
Validated.
Okay. So do you export to Europe and other places? Very toughest segment. Okay.
Yes.
Started. Okay. Domestic consumption.
So Nagaraj is one of our alumni at SLP,
Oh,
startup
yeah, you
leadership
know
program.
that.
Yeah. That's how I known him.
Okay.
As a person too. We have one more person, Ravi Srinivas, to join this.
Okay.
So we like to introduce.
We are actually into system integration.
Okay.
To do with the IT and all.
Okay.
Basically, we can build data centers, IT security, storage solution.
Okay.
When you say on-prem, I was very keen.
Okay, great conversation. So thanks to everyone for being here, and thanks to all the online participants. Nobody asked a question. Different format. Maybe people have logged off. Thanks once again for this.
Yeah,
Time.
thank you.
Thank you. Aditya, do you want to close this?
Yeah.
We'll ask for some tea, coffee.
Mind.
Yeah.
Should give this first.